Good morning. Welcome to day 192. I had a great night last night at the Hemlock Hollow Hostel. I was in the bunkhouse, comfortable bed. Got a little chilly in the middle of the night, but I got my quilt and pulled that on me. Slept great. Had a breakfast this morning. Spotter, who works there, made a pile of blueberry pancakes. They were delicious. He just dropped me back off at the trail crossing down there. So I'm heading south. I've got about 16 miles to get to Hot Springs, North Carolina. And Hot Springs is where Journeyman is going to pick me up. So Journeyman is a former Appalachian Trail through hiker, Colorado Trail hiker. He's quite experienced. And I met him 2 years ago in 2023 when I brought my daughter out here, Cameron, to do a section hike. And we met him and his rescue dog, Mickey. So he's going to pick me up in Hot Springs, take me back to his house, and let me get cleaned up and resupplied for the next leg. So I'm going to get moving here for now. Remember our Gold Star families, please, and Recon out. So still climbing up from Allen Gap, and then there's a descent and then another climb, and this descent pretty far down into Hot Springs. Right now, this is just an absolutely gorgeous day for hiking. I mean, just glorious. It's sunny, it's cool. So long as I'm on the left side of this ridge, and that's the ridge behind me. And the trail's running along the left side of this thing. It's all good, you know? And if I cross over the right side, that wind is just icy and cold, and kind of brutal. So I'm hoping I stay over here for a little while at least, but it's quite a beautiful day right now. People have been living out here in this area for centuries, and I guess a lot of this used to be farmland. And, you know, coming down the trail, and you just randomly come across this. So apparently, somebody's grave is here on this little ridge that has the Appalachian Trail on it now. Kind of interesting. You know, you can see there's nothing out here. I don't see any houses or anything like that, so I guess they just basically got buried on family property. Still heading down the Hot Springs. The weather's warmed up a little bit. It's really quite gorgeous. Interestingly, I met a fellow retired Navy captain who was hiking with Warrior Expeditions, and that's an organization that will take military veterans and fully outfit them for a through hike. Equipment, everything, and really cool. And what's interesting is that he and I knew some of the same people. So back in the day, some of the diving medical officers that I knew, he actually knew later. So a very small world, and kind of neat to meet him. His trail name was Hi Ho. So climbing this thing, hopefully, I believe it's downhill from here all the way to Hot Springs, where my friend will pick me up. There's my first glimpse of the town of Hot Springs. Look at that. Right, I am down off the mountain. This here is the French Broad River. French Broad. So that's quite a fast current. That current is really moving down through here. Trail heads up that way, and I assume crosses the bridge into town. Crossing the French Broad River and walking into Hot Springs. Welcome to day 193. Walking with my friend Journeyman and his adventure dog Mickey. And And he picked me up yesterday here in Hot Springs and had a great night at his house. And now they are going to escort me to the edge of Hot Springs. Walk me through town. So it's better than being escorted to the edge of town by the police anyway. So I've got a long climb ahead of me, and I will get up with you later. All right, here I am on the southern edge of Hot Springs, and there goes Journeyman with his adventure dog Mickey. And he just walked me to the edge of town here. And again, just super great to see him again. I had met him 2 years ago when my daughter and I were doing a section hike in the AT. And he's quite an inspiration. He's 73 years old. He's thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail. He's thru-hiked the Colorado Trail. He's done the Collegiate Loop. He's just quite an adventurous guy. He brings his dog Mickey almost everywhere he goes. And so really grateful. Had a great night at his place. Soak in the hot tub, shower, laundry, great dinner and breakfast. I slept great. And he and his wife both were just super kind and hospitable. So here I am. I am on the south end of Hot Springs, starting to climb. I got a long climb ahead of me. I think it's over 3,000 feet, honestly. And 13 miles probably to the campsite. I want to be at Davenport Gap at the very north end of the Smokies on Saturday afternoon, where my friend Dennis will pick me up. So 36 miles, broke it up into 3 days. Should hopefully not be too difficult. So just came upon these two graves, just not much out here. I don't know what it used to be, but now it's just a lonely ridge next to the Appalachian Trail. This one says George W. Gregg, February 29th, 1881 to May 12th, 1966, departed but not forgotten. This one says Eva Craigs, October 3rd, 1882 to November 3rd, 1940, absent, not to dead. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But it's kind of interesting to stumble across these family graves out here in the middle of nowhere. At some point or another, they probably lived out here and maybe farmed. So I am still climbing Bluff Mountain. I figured it was somewhere over 3,000 feet from Hot Springs, 3,000 feet vertical. So anyway, I started counting from down at Flow Gap, which is where the climb really began. And it was about a little bit more than 2,000 feet. So I've been climbing for 2 hours steadily now, and I've got it down to about 280 feet left. So it's a long, long, steep climb. And I passed a woman on her phone who's also going south, the only other southbound I've actually seen in a while. And she looked to be about 80. And then she started up the climb behind me, and I could look down over the side and see in the switchback, see her coming. And I thought, I cannot let myself get caught by an 80-year-old lady. I will be so embarrassed. So anyway, I picked up the pace. That's more than I could bear, quite honestly, this late in the day. So I'm going to continue my climb. Get to the top of the thing in another 20, 30 minutes probably, and then come up with a plan. All right, I made it to the top of Bluff Mountain. It took me about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think, roughly, to go 2,000 feet vertical. Which is a little disappointing. I was climbing at about 1,300 feet an hour when I got off trail. But I don't have those legs anymore, unfortunately. But here I am, I'm on top. And most importantly, the 80-year-old lady did not catch me. So I am victorious. Yeah. All right, I am stopping for the day. It's about 5:30. I've done about 13 miles. And so there's a spot down here. The trail is up there, and across the trail is like an unofficial campsite. There's really no space for me. There's a dad and his son up there with 2 tents, and really no more flat spaces. So I came over here. This looks okay. It's not totally level, but it's the best I'm going to do. And then I check out these trees, and they seem okay. I mean, these trees are all getting leaves on them, so I think they're alive. You can see there's a bunch of branches down right here. I think came off of, maybe this tree over here, perhaps. So, I mean, this whole place is just trees looking like they want to come down any second, and it's kind of scary because you just don't know. I mean, so many have fallen already, so you just do the best job you can, not be underneath something that might come down. Good morning, day 194, and had a pretty good night last night. Wind picked up somewhere around the middle of the night. Nothing fell on me, pretty happy about that. There's a huge pile of limbs right over there next to my tent, and I don't know, I mean, they came off some of these trees, and I don't know if somebody piled them up over there or that's just where they landed. That wasn't last night, that's been there a while, but anyway, caused me some concern. That's really the major danger out here as I can see it. Right now it's about 50 degrees, it's pretty breezy. I'm having my coffee and I'm gonna pack up pretty soon here and get back on the trail, and I'll get up with you. Right, I'm about at the top of this first climb, so right out of camp, at 600 feet of vertical. Not terrible. I'm trying to get the sun off the screen, there we go. So not bad, but I didn't want to do it yesterday. At the end of the day, I was tired. And so I'm almost at the top of this thing. What I forgot to mention though is that today we will be going over Max Patch. Max Patch is one of the most famous points in the entire Appalachian Trail, certainly in the southeast. Unfortunately, several years ago camping was banned because there's just too many crowds and people were just spoiling it. So the Forest Service has banned camping up there. But there's 360-degree views. Looks like it's going to shape up to be a nice day, so I will hopefully have some really nice views, and I will bring you along with me. Stay tuned. Recon. So I've got a ton of northbounders passing me, so I don't know where the maximum point of the bubble is. You know, they kind of start from Springer Mountain in Georgia between, most of them between March 1st and probably April 15th or so, and so you end up with kind of a, you know, pig going through a boa constrictor kind of phenomenon where you'll have a bubble that's stretched out on both ends. So I'm getting a lot more today so far, and it's only not even 10 o'clock, so I may be getting close to it. Then I'll pass through and come out the other end of the bubble and probably see very few after that. Some of them are reporting trail magic at the next road crossing, which means that some kind soul has set up and is handing out goodies. So I'll head down and check that out. Southbounders don't get much trail magic because it just doesn't exist as a tradition up north. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, I'll let you know. Alrighty, crossed the Lemon Gap parking area back there off a gravel road, and there's a former thru hiker there. They had his dog Harvey. You'll see Harvey's picture. He's a brown pit bull, and he was handing out snacks. So I got some snacks, and then took off. Just did the math. Looks like I've got about 240 miles left after today, and I've done about 330 miles so far, so about 18 days maybe. I figure be done somewhere between May 8th and May 10th, depending on how many more zeros I take. My son's graduation, as I've stated previously, is May 18th, so that'll give me plenty of time to get back home and get ready for that. So 330 miles so far, that ain't nothing. All right, it's been a beautiful day, and I'm still climbing. I got about 0.6 miles to get to the top of Max Patch, and I will get you all some views from up there, hopefully. All right, well, I think that's Max Patch up there, right up on there. And I just came up out of the trees, and this is what's greeting me. It's just a unbelievably gorgeous day up here. So I'll get on up a little bit higher. Well, here I am on top of Max Patch. They no longer allow camping up here because it got abused, unfortunately. But the views up here are just magnificent. And I want to show you this. So that, I believe, is Smoky Mountain National Park. And for me, the last major obstacle on my southbound thru hike. Smokies are pretty famous for rough terrain and bad weather. And some of the highest points in the Appalachian Trail, actually. Klingman's Dome, which I think is 6,700 feet, is actually the highest point on the entire Appalachian Trail, and it's in Smoky Mountain National Park. So that is the last obstacle between me and finishing this thing. This is magnificent. What great weather, too. Yeah, I don't know. Look at those things. It's pretty impressive. if I had not already done the White Mountains and New England and Maine, I might be a little intimidated. But that is a magnificent mountain range right there. All right, here I am coming up on the Max Patch Road parking area, and what do I find? Trail magic. Oh boy. There's a barbecue grill going, and I'm gonna jump up here and get me something to eat. Mike, right?
Yes, or Pony Boy, and my wife's Soda Pop.
Your wife is Soda Pop and you're
Pony Boy.
Pony Boy, okay.
Class 2016, come out here every year. So
amazing.
Come join us next April.
Yeah, this is just amazing. This is so great.
Whatever your big bag is.
As a southbounder, I got very little trail magic.
Oh,
So this is a real treat.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
My pleasure, buddy.
So I may not get any further than this. I think I've died and gone to heaven. So Pony Boy over there is making me a double cheeseburger with a fried egg on top and a couple cold beers here. So yeah, I got 5.6 miles to get to the next shelter for the night. I may be rolling in kind of late. So pretty awesome. It's an amazing setup they got here, and I'm so grateful. All right, and I am heading back up the trail, 5.6 miles to the next shelter where I plan to spend the night. And then tomorrow I will cruise on into the Pigeon River Bridge where my friend Dennis will pick me up. It's with great sadness that I'm leaving the trail magic. With the cheeseburgers with the fried eggs on them and multiple coolers full of ice cold beer. I had to pry myself away, but I gotta get on zero. So off I go, Semper Fi. So I'm passing a lot more northbounders now. I think that I've got about 220 miles left roughly. And they're just into their hike, 220 miles. So they've done roughly the first 10%, and I've done the last 90%. And in some ways I feel envious of them because they still have this great adventure ahead of them, and mine is almost over. And in some ways I feel sorry for them because there's so much suffering ahead that they have no idea about. And it's all part of the adventure. The bad weather, the cold, the hot, the rain, the long climbs that seem like they'll never end. So it's a mixed bag. I have very mixed feelings about finishing up. I'm not sure how I'll feel about that, honestly. Alrighty, day 194 is coming to an end. It's about 5:30, and this is the side trail going down to Groundhog Creek Shelter. I'm gonna go down here. Supposedly there's water. I'm looking for a place to put my tent. It's gonna be a beautiful night tonight, so definitely would like to sleep in the tent if I can. And that's all for now. If something happens, I'll let you know. I did meet a northbounder a little while ago who was recognizing me from being on YouTube last year, and was excited to see me out here finishing up. So that was pretty cool. And I told him congratulations for being out here, because I think it's great that people come out here and attempt to make a hike. So for right now, that's all for tonight, and I will see you in the morning.
Do I turn and wave?
Sure. Good morning and welcome to day 195. And there goes Betty. And she is off to a smoking start this morning. It's a beautiful day, and she's going to be entering the Smoky Mountains. So everybody wish Betty bon voyage and have a great hike, Betty. Bye. Bye-bye. All right, I look a mess. Day 195 and camped here at the Groundhog Ridge Shelter. It's actually about 0.2 of a mile back down that way. So nice little campsite here. You just saw Betty. She's a delightful lady. I have no idea how old she is, but she is older than me. And she was hiking. Every time I stopped, she caught me for the last 2 days now. So we ended up down at the shelter. There's about, gosh, at least 20 northbound thru hikers down there, all kids mostly in their 20s, having a good old time. And we got down there and didn't want to be part of that scene. We wanted to try to get some rest tonight. So came up here and camped in this very nice spot right next to the trail, and had a good night. Betty is super cool. She's a retired teacher, and it was really fun getting to know her. I have to admit, I was super impressed with her hiking. I mean, you know, she was smoking along the trail and was, you know, catching up to me every time I stopped. So pretty impressive. She's going to enter the Smokies. I don't know if I'll see her again. I got to go about 8 miles to the Pigeon River Bridge, and a friend of mine who's a retired Army sergeant is going to pick me up. He and I were deployed to Afghanistan together, and have kept in touch over the years. So I'm going back to his house tonight to resupply, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning to enter the Smoky Mountains. So for now, I'm going to pack up and get on trail. Recon out. All right, so I am topping out at the last climb before I start a steep descent to the Pigeon River, where my friend Dennis will meet me. And I'm not sure what that thing is. Some kind of radar, I think. But apparently to the left is a canopy, and there are people up there with trail magic. And I've heard they got food and beer and all kinds of goodies, so I will not be delayed. All right, so that was some great trail magic. They're set up with a canopy up there. Apparently that thing is a navigational aid for aircraft, that big white thing. Anyway, they had a table up there. They had biscuits, a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, and sausage egg biscuits. They had cold beer, Gatorade water, and just some really super cool people. So, and Betty was there. I caught up to her. So, had a beer, had a biscuit, and thanked them very much. And I am on my way to go meet my friend Dennis. Stopped at this little creek across the trail here. I'm gonna grab some water. Getting pretty thirsty. I'm gonna camel up a little bit and then carry some out. While I was moving a branch over the water, I found this. Somebody's Anchor power bank, and it's got a number on it. If lost, please call. So I'll call them when I get phone service, but I'm sure this thing's ruined. I'll have to carry it out and throw it in the trash. It's been laying in the water for who knows how long. Man, it is so hot out here. Totally not expected this. Some of these trees are getting some leaves on them, which is helping a little bit, but for the most part, nowhere near full leaf coverage. It is really hot. And I'm going downhill. I'm watching the northbounders, and they're struggling up this hill, and they just look miserable. It's just really just a huge change in temperature. I thought about sending my 15-degree quilt home and getting my 30-degree quilt just to save some weight and space, but I mean, it can get cold again, I think. And ultimately, by the time I did all that, I mean, I'd be almost done with the trail. So anyway, continuing down, I had a fly like trying to bite me, and I swatted it, and I thought to myself, well, at least it's not those little gnats that fly in your eyeballs. And I no sooner finished the sentence than the gnat flew into my eyeballs. So they're all out here in force. But mission continues. Dennis, my friend from the military, is actually hiking north from the Pigeon River, and we should meet at any time. And he's going to take me home for a shower and laundry, resupply, and some beer. Semper Fi.
You'll get a lot of riffraff. It washed out the road there. Like, this used to all be rapids now.
Yeah, I see the road's washed up down there. Wow.
I do recognize one rock. I see that triangle rock in the middle of the river. That's the only one. That's the only one I recognize.
It's the only one. Wow, it's crazy.
You want a picture?
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
All right, there I am. There's Dennis, my friend from the military, and that's the Pigeon River. And he met me up on the trail. We've hiked down together. We're gonna go to his car and get out of this heat and hopefully get something cold to drink.